There's a local story here of a man who wandered into a quiet meadow just as the sun was beginning to set. He hadn't planned to stop there, but something just drew him in. The gentle breeze carried the scent of wildflowers, and the colours in the sky seemed to ripple like a calm lake. And as he stood there without trying, his breathing began to match the rhythm of the wind. Slow, easy, natural. And it's funny how the body seems to know when it's time to relax. He felt his shoulders loosen, his thoughts softening like leaves drifting on a stream. And he noticed, perhaps for the first time in a while, that the sound of silence wasn't empty. It was filled with subtle whispers, as if the world itself was saying, "It's okay to let go now." And as he stepped further into the meadow, his feet pressed into the cool grass. He felt the earth beneath him, solid and supportive. And yet it gave just enough to remind him how the world is both firm and soft at the same time. He began to notice the gentle hum of crickets in the distance, a sound that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. He found a small hill and sat down, leaning back against an old oak tree. The bark was rough but steady, and he imagined how deep the roots must stretch, how connected the tree was to the earth. And in that moment, he felt it too, like roots of his own stretching down, anchoring him, steadying him, while his thoughts drifted higher and higher, like clouds dissolving into the sky. And as he rested there, his eyes naturally began to close, not because he had to, but because they wanted to. And when your eyes close like that, without effort, it is as though they've entered a different kind of seeing. He remembered a story someone once told him about a river that never stopped flowing. People would come to the river's edge, burdened with worries, and as they dipped their hands into the cool water, the worries just slipped away. They never knew where the worries went, and it didn't matter. The river knew what to do, just as your mind knows. That same mind that can carry you through the day can also guide you into a peaceful night. Because when you think about it, a river doesn't need to be told how to flow, just as you don't need to tell yourself how to relax. It simply happens, like breathing, like dreaming. And perhaps that man, leaning against the oak tree, began to notice how the colours of the meadow dimmed, just enough to make everything feel softer, gentler. A bird flew overhead, its wings beating slower, as if even the air itself had decided to unwind. He didn't think about falling asleep. He simply followed the rhythm of the world around him, letting it carry him. And the man eventually stood, stretching as the stars began to peek through the deepening sky. He felt lighter, as though the meadow had shared its calm with him. And as he walked back, he carried that peace with him, knowing it would linger long after the night began. And when you open your eyes, you might find that sense of calm within you too, ready to guide you through the night and into tomorrow. And just as that man found his way back to the meadow, you can find your way back to this feeling any time you need it. Each time your head touches the pillow, Your body will remember how to relax deeply, completely, effortlessly. Sleep will come naturally, as it always does when you let it. Thank you for joining me in this peaceful meadow, and until next time, goodbye and good mental health.